And then at, that point, and you decide to go to sustainer, then that's kind of alum status where you're a member for life,
Yes.
but you don't have to provide the 45 hours of service that year and that sort of thing. So anyway, if you're interested, please check it out. Feel free to ask any of us Rich questions.
Oh, Lord. Listen, she said ask Rich. I don't know if you should ask Rich.
Rich is a great member.
Listen, I love the way you all's relationship is as well as president and executive VP. I see. And listen, you all don't know that I've been watching in my own way, but I look at how you definitely, President Cooper said that you're her right hand, but really, I see how you do. You cover. You're there if there's something that may not have been, has missed the president. You're right there. I mean, there's not this. You all are so in sync and so in tune with one another, and that's another thing that I love about the league, the sisterhood.
Yes.
And many members are already members of other maybe nonprofit organizations or organizations where there's sisterhood and camaraderie, but the league is just a little bit different. And Executive VP, you brought up something that I like to joke about, and you listeners know how Rich is. She brought up that this is not your mom's junior league, and so I always have a little going joke where I talk about the help.
Here we go.
Seriously, because let me tell you, President Coopwood, some people think that. And Executive VP brought it up. They think that that's all we do. They think that and then she didn't bring up the part about just drinking and having fun. But sometimes they think we don't have any work. We don't have jobs outside of the home. I've encountered individuals like that, and I'm like, no, there's the hodgepodge and the backgrounds are as diverse as the women involved in the league. We are so different. We come from, I look at some of the members, and I don't want to call everybody's name, but you have members who, like Ruth Sheikha Seth, who serves on the Repeat Boutique, which you'll discuss a little bit later.
Definitely.
Listen, we don't call it a thrift shop. Some of you may know about the Junior League's Repeat Boutique. Listen, I don't call it a thrift shop. It's so much more than that. I have sent people there, and they're like, I've never seen anything like it, but that's just what we do in excellence. The Junior League has had their hands in so many initiatives. Hope House, I think. My provisional year, we did the bus tour, and you all, as far as the league, just showed me so much about how we assisted other organizations to get up and running until they were able to sustain themselves. So we do a lot of what people see in the city of Memphis, this great city, 901 area. The league had a hand in it. I'm not saying everything, but a lot.
That's right. And for Hope House, we started Hope House.
See,
that
I'm telling you.
That started as a hand of volunteers with a curriculum and a dream and time to commit to helping other women who were in need, and a need that we could help them with.
I love this.
And it launched into its own entity.
My goodness.
And that's what we love.
Oh, I just love this. I don't have to give Favor an air hug. I'm just so, because during my provisional year, I always say the league or they, and I can't remember who it was. They said, you're a part of the league. You may not have been here at inception, but it's us, we. And so I had to get that in my mind. No, I wasn't here. I couldn't have been, but I am now. So yes, I am a part of this great organization of women. And wanted to also touch bases. We're going to come back in just a few moments. Oh, okay. Dula's letting me know I'm getting ahead of myself. But I would like to talk about this being the year of the woman. The year of the woman, in this capacity, and not only the woman, but I want to edge in here, President Coopwood. You are the first, and I shared this with someone. I was getting excited a little bit, probably being rich. I can't change who I am, and they were like,
"No, we don't want you to."
No, they were like, I didn't know that was a thing. I said, well, it is. And because I'm a candid conversationalist, I need to discuss this. I said, yeah, it is a thing. You think about when we began and where we are now, and this is the first. I said it probably shouldn't be, but I can just see this, it won't be a thing. It won't in the future be a thing, but it is this year. It is a thing. You're the first African-American president of the Junior League of Memphis.
Yes, I am.
What has that been like? It's bananas for me. Let me tell you, when these ladies did the planning, and I saw your family come in, I heard the whispers, but it took a whole different it just did something different for Rich when I saw your family come in. When I saw the president of Regional 1, you all's children coming in there, family members, and the flowers, it was huge for me. You would have thought it was my sister. It was me. I'm serious. Right. It was huge. So how does that, I mean, it may not be as bananas for you as it is for me. I don't know. It may be, you know, just like, okay, yeah, because I do what the league represents. I am this. This is what I wanted. I set my mind to it and did it. So, but how does that feel? What does it look like for you to be the first African American?
Well, as you know, I had an entire president-elect year to wrap my mind around it. And that's one of those intentional things that we do for our senior leader, is to help her get prepared to lead the organization. And so I had my president-elect year for that to really resonate and for the bananas to kind of quail and disappear. But I will say I was proud to accept the offer and the challenge to do it, because it was the right thing for the city. It was the right thing for the organization. You say that that's another check mark that we can check off, and that's important. Don't you get tired of Memphis being in the news for the negative, you know, other cities and other people being able to really put their foot on the neck of Memphis to make their point about something.
I do.
You know? And so I was proud to do it for the city. I was proud to do it for the organization. I knew that I could, because I serve a risen Savior. And so I knew that was going to be okay.
Oh, look at her. Get ready to preach in here, Dula. Listen,
but I understood that for this city, you need to check, just go ahead and check that mark off. It's important for the organization, for them to go ahead and check that mark off, and for all of our members to see that Black women do lead. Black women lead well. We can do it well too. And that's important. And the only chance that many of those women, the city, will ever get a chance to see that is if they're looking at my leadership.
Oh, wow. I love it.
So it's important that I do things well. It's important that I be decisive. It's important that I be able to make hard decisions. You know, that's the title. As we said, it's voluntary. It's voluntary for all of us. But the thing about the league is that one thing that we have not said is that, and you point out how different it is, there's something different about the junior league. Our members, it's a member run and member owned. And so we are running a business. We are running a business of the organization. And we have gotten our branding in the community by the way that we volunteer well, by the way that we do well. That's where our branding comes from. So in order for us to keep that branding going, it's important for present leadership, future leadership, to always instill within each member that comes through your doors that you gotta commit. If you're gonna be a part of it, you gotta do what you said you're gonna do.
I love that, and commitment frightens a lot of people.
It does.
But what I want to say, President Coopwood, is when I'm listening to you talk about being the first African American president of the Junior League of Memphis, what also was coming into my spirit, because you're a saved woman, a woman of faith, if you were. But I look at the women who didn't look like you, who supported you and pushed you. I see that, because sometimes we have misconceptions.
I'm telling you.
And I saw these women, Carolyn Daniel, our former president, and then executive VP Favor. I just saw a lot of people who didn't look like you, didn't look like me, didn't have the same background that I had, and they were supporting one who did look like me. I saw that. And you can't, and that wasn't feigned. It was authentic. It was authentic.
And it makes you feel good, because you're able to look at that glass a little differently and say that even if you don't get it from your own, which I did.
You did.
But even if you don't get it from your own, I got women pulling me and pushing me and not dragging me to do it, but just showing me, hey, look at what you've done already. You got this. And we got you.
I love it.
I love it. And it makes a world of difference.
It makes a world of difference. So listen, we'll be right back with Executive VP. Listen, we've allowed President Coopwood to take over the first part, but we're getting ready to get into it. We're going to dig in, and Executive VP Favor is going to share some ideas, and even some facts, some little known facts about the Junior League of Memphis when we return from this quick commercial break. This has been the Real Dr. Rich Candid Conversations.
I know I hate my voice.
You sound great.
I'm deep and southern.
And we're back. Listen, we're having fun with the ladies of the Junior League of Memphis again. We have the President Erica Coopwood, Esquire, in the house today in the studio with Dr. Rich. What's going on?
Hello, hello.
Listen, she's taking time out of her very productive schedule. Listen, this is not a laid-back position for the league. This woman is always grinding. I mean, there's so much that we couldn't even share with you all today that the league does. I mean, oh Lord, the boards and all the different aspects and intricacies. It's so huge. It's huger than what we can actually cover today. And we also have Executive VP Favor, Rebecca Favor, I like the way I say that, in the house today. You're doing a great job. What's going on, Favor?
Thanks. Not much. Yeah, just enjoying being here. So thanks for having us.
Well, listen, before we went to break, we were discussing how this has been a defining moment for the league to have an African American woman to be the leader, to be the president of the Junior League of Memphis, and what that looks like, what that feeling was, and the excellence that, you know, is what we're known for as far as our volunteerism, our dollars, and all of that. So I wanted to just come back and just tie you into it to share with us, the listening and the watching viewers. We talked a little bit about membership, but there are some other details other than the commitments. And I know commitment is frightening to some people because, you know, it is volunteerism, but we also give the members or prospective members options, you know, so you select your own way that you want to volunteer your time. So the commitment is really, that ball is in their court, but there is an age requirement. Is that right?
There is, yes. You have to be 23.
And why is that, Favor?
I honestly don't know.
I'm just teasing.
Well, I would say that it's because you want to make sure that the woman has time. That she is either out of school or she's gotten to a point past high school where by that time she will want to start giving back to her community. And usually for women that starts at around 23.
Okay. I was just teasing with Favor because I had my own little and it was just about that, because we're a little bit more you know, in our thinking and in our area of decisiveness, we're a little bit more settled in our minds about, maybe not completely, but a lot more definitely than high school. I mean, we do so much in the league.
We do.
I mean, we
really do.
We have scholarships for young ladies who are entering college. I want to talk about the Repeat Boutique with you. I want to talk about the annual fund. I want to talk about everything that we do with the donations that are given to the Junior League and how we impact our communities with that.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So it's super important, you know, to give to the league or donate to our Repeat Boutique, because every dollar that the Junior League of Memphis raises stays in the Memphis community. So, you know, we're not going to, you know, we're not like other thrift stores where, you know, if they make a lot of money, they open up another store in a different state. You know, that's not how we work. If the Repeat Boutique is crushing it, all that money stays in the Memphis community to go back into, you know, our programs to, again, just, you know, help the community improve as much as possible.
And where is the Repeat Boutique? Listen, this is, you may hear Executive VP talk about it, and we do call it a thrift store. We do, but I'm just joking you all.
But it's a thrift store that has some Lafayette, 148, St. John, because President Coopwood wears that, and I do have stuff on. I donated to the Repeat Boutique.
Oh, I love it.
Lots of Tory Burch, all that.
All of that, and that's why I say, and the organization there, the staff there, and that's why I tease and say we don't call it a thrift store. We do. It is, but I'm saying personally,
it doesn't look thrifty.
It doesn't. It's so freaking super amazing. I mean, and the estate sale. Just give us the address first, and I want to encourage you all. If you, this is really a hidden diamond. I mean, okay, well, it's on Summer, and we're going to come back to that.
But it's between Graham and Highland on Summer Avenue.
Yes, it's amazing.
It really is.
And I want to talk about. We just ended our Mary Marketplace.
Yes.
That's a big fundraiser for the Junior League. It's huge.
It is.
I mean, I've had individuals to come in and ask about us, and like, you're a part of the league? Yeah, when is Mary Marketplace? I'm like, you just missed it. Well, it wasn't. Some of them are so accustomed to us being out at the Agri Center, but we've been some of everywhere in Memphis. I mean, we've been at the Racket Club, we were at the Pipkin Building. We've been some of everywhere in the league, and so tell us how that looked. I was super stoked. I went every day.
It was
girls' night out. It is amazing. That's one of our huge fundraisers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this was the 18th year our Mary Marketplace. Yes.
Really?
And it's just basically a weekend shopping extravaganza. So it's really fun. And again, all the money that we raise, on booth sales, on wine pools, jewelry pools, girls' night out tickets, just all of that, all the money that we bring in stays in Memphis. So yes. So
and not in our coffers, but they go right back to the community and to our programming.
Right. And we have a lot of programming, and the partnerships that the league has, those are phenomenal. I mean, I'm looking at the swag bags, the gift bags, the partnerships that we do for those who support us. And also, I love, who does our t-shirts? I can't even think of his name. The gentleman that does our t-shirts.
You mean Joe Williams?
Yes.
Joe from Agape North.
Agape North.
We love Joey. Yeah.
And the
He's
t-shirts.
been a long time partner.
He has. And I have to call his name out because he has been one of our, like you say, sustaining partners. I mean, and the dollars. And the t-shirts and the uniform shirts for our schools that we support. It's just amazing. The uniforms. It's just, there's so much to the Junior League. But come on, tell us about the Memphis Women's Summit.
Oh yeah. So this is a very new fundraiser for us. This will be our 4th year, but Memphis Women's Summit has really been incredible. So it's a day-long event for women. Any woman. Entrepreneur, a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, anyone who wants to attend is certainly welcome to purchase a ticket. You can buy a table, which we end up having a lot, of our partner companies end up, buying tables for their employees. But it's just a super inspirational day, and we have different tracks where, depending on where you are in your, work life or leadership or what have you, there are different tracks of speakers that you can attend. And then we have a lunchtime, keynote speaker, and then we have a final keynote speaker in the afternoon. But it's a fantastic day. And
you listen, you all sit and plan this out. I'm not on that planning committee, but you all have had some great speakers to come in.
Yes.
I mean, and I look, and even our coach, Melissa, the women's Memphis Tight. Oh, I remember us sitting in on her breakout session, and she inspired. I knew how she made me feel, but I watched you. You were not even president then. You were president elect. You were yes, and I watched the sparkle in the things that she was saying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was phenomenal. Then you have people who are not. We bring in people.
Yes.
Huge names, and the women leave so inspired. The vendors are there. They're shopping, and again, the money remains in Memphis. So that's what I love. So this year it's going to be in March. I mean, in 2019.
Yes,
2019. It'll be in March. We know that. So listen, head over to the Junior League of Memphis's page. Listen, you can go to our website, all of that good stuff, and look up and find out more information about the Memphis Women's Summit. I want to talk to you.
And real quick, we'll be announcing our keynote speaker very, very soon. So definitely check back.
Yes.
Definitely check back.
It's been real top secret. I heard in some of the communications. Rich likes to know who it is. They're like, no, Rich, we don't. They haven't disclosed it yet. I'm like, okay, well, we'll keep the lid on. I can't keep the lid on because I don't even know. Rich doesn't even know. But I want you to tell me, Executive VP Favor, about this inclusion and diversity. What is that? What has that meant to you? Because I know that you have a lot of, outside of the league, you have a lot of not just tons, because you're selective, just as many of us are, but in your circles, no, seriously, you have women that you're close to who don't look like you,
oh, yeah.
who you sit down and you kick it with, you spend time with. So what does that look like, bringing it to the league in a more intentional way? Because I've heard our president talk about being intentional. She has been, I'm looking at the things that she posts and shares with us inside of the junior league, and she's always talking about servant leadership. Now, that's always been a part of the league, but she's also talking about being intentional and all of these things. So what does that look like for you, not looking like us, and being intentional about that inclusion and diversity?
I just think it's so important that, here we have this incredible organization that, we need to add this diversity and inclusion, statement. We've had a task force for several years to just, look at how our league is operating, and are we reflecting the community in which we reside, So it's just been very important, to watch the work that this task force has done, and they came up with this incredible diversity and inclusion statement that we did vote to add to our bylaws. So it is now at the very top. It's like mission statement, vision statement, diversity and inclusion statement. Wow. And it's just so important that, we put this out there that, this is who we are.
Yes.
And, we're not gonna, not follow this. This is part of the Junior League of Memphis.
I love it. So it was important to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yes. I'm excited about that, because I watch how you support me too off the record, and you're like, Rich, it's always something great that has nothing to do directly with the league, but it's just you as a woman encouraging me as a woman. And so I like that we come out of the box.
Yes.
I like that we come out of the box, and that we can feel free to do that, because that's who we are. And so when I'm looking at the league too, there's so much. I mean, these affinity groups.
Yes.
Tell us what is, I mean, we have so many affinity groups, and they're all blossoming. I mean, it's great. Tell me a little bit about.
I can give you some background on this. I was on the membership council the year that we started on those. So So we were looking into, just how to better engage members, because a lot of feedback you get is that, people feel like they go to meetings or they go do their shift, but they want to get to know people better, kind of thing. And I mean, whatever, to each his own, kind of thing. Like, I feel like the more you put into the league, the more you get out of it.
Right.
But
that's anything.
But right, exactly. But so we decided to do these affinity groups, and this was something I'd never heard of at the time. I was like, what are we talking about? So so I think it started slowly with a St. Jude. People in the league who work at St. Jude, they were going to have a lunch group, and then there was like a East Memphis moms group, and they would have play dates with their kids. Yeah, so I think those were the original two. And so now we have a happiness project. We have a Grizzlies affinity group. So ladies, please join our Grizzlies group, because if no one ever comes.
Are you on that one?
Me and Anna Ritz are like the only two that ever do anything.
Oh, the Grizzlies! Come on!
I know. We meet up before the games and have drinks. And so it's usually us and our husbands. But the Women of Color affinity group has really taken off. So that one. Yeah, that one is totally blown up.
And I'm wondering why is that so? But no, I'm teasing. But that's all of these affinity groups. And listen, she forgot one of the hot ones. She didn't actually forget. She may just intentionally not mention it. But we have one that I forget the actual name, but it's the wine.
38 104.
See, look, President Coopwood.
38 104. Talking about President Coopwood.
President Coopwood knows
38 104. Hold on now. Did Jesus? That's the first miracle, right? Okay. I'll back up.
I love it. So listen, there's always a place outside of our placements.
Right.
There's always a place outside of the general membership meetings. I'm having to learn not to say GMM, because everybody doesn't know what I mean by that. But the partnerships and just the connections, it's been so great, because before the affinity groups, especially the two that you're mentioning, were launched, I used to just do extra hands just so I could meet, just to meet my fellow league sisters. But it still wasn't the same as having an affinity group, because we would be there to volunteer. We would be there to learn one another's names and get to know what we were. But we were there specifically to volunteer, so it wasn't a lot of time to do a lot of socializing. Right. So I'm just excited. The women of color, yes, let me say that I am a part of that one. Shout out to you, Ruby, if you're watching. Phenomenal. Yeah, it's great. We are having an amazing time. So listen, for those of you who are following me, if you came off of my personal Facebook Live page and you're now on KWAM, go ahead and look into becoming a member. It's not very difficult. I want Executive VP Favor to reiterate again, all you have to do is be 23, and there are some commitments, but basically the ball is in your court. You can set your schedule, because even I wanted to touch on Camp Good Grief. That's another one of our babies. Yes. Camp Good Grief. And for those of you who are already volunteering, the women of the league join the league for various reasons. You know, but most of the women are in some capacity already volunteering. They're already doing something, but they want to come together with other women to do it in a different dynamic or what have you. So again, tell us when is the time that these women need to probably, I mean, seriously, if I'm counting and not missing anyone, I've had 4 women, and to say something to me. So I want to make a statement and a declaration right now. Rich will definitely have at least 3 to 5 women coming aboard the junior league. I mean, they're so impressed.
Provisional recruitment.
Yes, provisional recruitment, and for you, they met you. One of them met you at Merrick Marketplace, and was just impressed because of who you are, to be honest, because I gave them a little bit of your well, Rich had to do that because I want to encourage women, not just with the league, but if the league is what I'm doing right then, of course I'm going to talk up the league, because this is what I do. But she said this, really, she whispered to me, she said, these are the kind of women I need to be around. And so I know how she feels, because before Rich got her confidence back, like Stella got her groove back. Seriously, I want to say this, Favor. You didn't know this, but I share it when I'm doing conferences. And I want to say, hey, former President Sally Pace, if you get to see this, you so rock. Sally spoke at one of my conferences. And I talk about in my conferences, it just depends. I don't always say it because I don't want to be redundant. But I used to have a nervousness about being around women like you, who didn't look like me. Yeah, I did. I mean, this was years ago. I mean, I got my, but still. And so, because I experienced that early on in my life, there are women who are now in their 40s, maybe late 30s, 50s, and even 60s who still have that complex. Right. So I felt this from that young woman. So when she saw you, another woman who, and even women who don't look like her, because I know what that feeling is like. That's right. And I could vibe off of it. I knew what she was feeling. So when she said that, and she's like, these are the kind of women. She wasn't just directly talking about you, but that you gave her hope, you know. But when she saw all of these other women who were speaking to her, you know, because she came over from Arkansas, and so she's like, I want to be around these kind of women. And I was like, and you deserve to be around these kind of women.
It makes a difference when people acknowledge you.
Yes, and when you know that. And when you know that you have something to offer and also something to glean from the organization, because the league challenged me this year, ladies. Oh my goodness.
A phenomenal job.
You tell, and see, that's another way you encourage me. Both of you all have told me that. And I'm like, sometimes I think I stink, but the going.
You have a different way of doing it.
And she said I have a different. Listen to my president.
But that's what league life is about.
What you
it may not be done the way that it was done before.
I love it.
But so long as it is done and done well, those efforts are applauded.
Favor.
And they should be appreciated.
That's for me, because I love you. Listen, listen how sweet she is to Dr. Rich. She said it may not have been done. And that's similar to math and anything else. That's right. Because I was not a great student. I had to take the praxis math portion 3 times. Okay. I kept. It's okay now because I don't get any more of my money. I finally passed it, but what I'm saying is I had to do things a different way. And so, but when you all encourage me, and it's different times, Executive VP Favor may tell me, Rich, she'll say something. I think we were at a GMM, and she told me I was rocking. She said, and that made me feel good, because she's the freaking executive VP
right.
of the league.
Right.
And so you told me that. We were out at Levin Shell.
I remember this.
And then you had told me that in text messages. And then I had T-Lee, I don't think her name is Devereaux anymore, but she ran into me. Yeah, well, she knows I'm going to call her Devereaux because that's what I've known her as. So she saw me out somewhere and she's like, "You're rich." I'm looking like, really? I knew who she was from media. And she's like, "You do a kick job. You're doing a great." She told me that I did a great job.
Awesome.
She told me that. I was like, "Wow." She's like, "Yeah, I see you. You're posting. You're doing this." And I was like, "Okay."
Information is important.
Yeah, and I'm just because sometimes and because when I got this, when I was nominated for this position, I was told that. I wasn't told who said it, but it was the truth. So I don't get angry with the truth. Well, they're laughing because they don't know what I'm getting ready to say.
Lord,
they don't know what. But this is what they told me. They were like, "Rich is a great person. She's this, she's that." Had all about 5, 10 great things. And they said, "But Rich," I knew when that but came. It was said that sometimes you don't get back as quickly as you should. You know, it may be 3-4 days later. And I couldn't do anything but laugh because it was the truth about Rich.
And so what I've learned to do is text you. I don't go through email.
But email, text, phone calls. But you know what? I brought all of that up to say two things. I can't smile at the great things that are said that are truthful and frown on the things that are truthful that are not so great. And second, what we do in the league is, you all will say it better than me because I don't have it memorized like I should, the way we say it politically correct. But you challenged me outside of my comfort zone. So the potential of women.
We developed the potential of women.
So you're developing my potential in an area that was uncomfortable to me. And I'm hearing from Laura Doty, you're doing a great, and she told me that at our meeting, and I was like, wow. So, you know, there's room for improvement, like you said, President Coop would, but
for all of us.
For all of us.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm doing a job. And this is just a joke, but I don't want to fall out of the graces of the league. So I try my best. I try my best. But it has been challenging, but the communication is not a problem anymore. How can you be on the communications council and not be an effective communicator? So it's challenged me to do better. I get back, you know, within 24 hours. It may not be immediately, but for the president and executive VP, I'm getting back right there. So everybody else, I get back right away because these are my direct leaders. So it's like it didn't mean anything about my sisters, but I'll get back within 24 hours, which is better than 3 to 4 days later, which is how I started out, real poorly. So, but I'm excited. I want to talk before we go off the air just a little bit more about our programs. I know, and listen, you all know how I do it here at Candid Conversations. They don't have any scripts. They don't know exactly what I'm asking. They come in, as does every guest, and we just shoot from the hip about what we know. So it just to show you that, you know, we're real we're authentic about what we do and what we know, because they haven't studied this. It's not scripted. So tell us about some of the other initiatives that we have. Either both of you all, we can bounce and pivot off of one another. I know that we have Grow. I know that we have Camp Good Grief. I mean, there's so much that we have.
There are.
And I want to talk before we leave too, after we name some of the different areas that we're working on in our initiatives, I want you to leave us with this annual fund.
Okay.
I need to ask our supporters to give, if you want to see some things done in Memphis, if you want to see some of the things that you have desired to happen in Memphis, in our neighborhood, in our communities, this is by far, hands down, the best organization, the best nonprofit to give to, because we make it happen. I mean, the league makes it happen. That's without a question, without doubt. We're there with our hands and we're there with our dollars. I mean, and we just had the teachers grant.
Yes, innovative teaching grants.
Yes. Say that again. What's that?
Innovative teaching grants.
Innovative, and I should know that because I'm an educator, but yes, we just handed out, we selected our schools, our educators, and we were there. Keila D. Jones, shout out to you.
Yes.
We were there at the schools and we handed out monies to these different educators. So let's, what are some of your
so let me go through the program.
Yes.
We get our branding through our community volunteerism.
Yes.
And so we are in the Binghamton neighborhood.
Oh,
That's one of them.
Yes.
And so that's at Brewster Elementary School. We do the pre-K program, pre-K and K program.
Yeah.
And then we're also at Lester Community Center, where we host our Thursday night supper club.
That's one. Oh, I love that.
Now that is a labor of love.
It is.
It's a labor of love, because this is where, of course, our volunteers get together.
Yeah.
Every other Thursday, I believe.
Yes.
Every other Thursday, and they prepare a meal. They provide specific homework help, tutoring, parental classes. Now, these are classes not on things that we come up with to say, because really people can't receive that. That's where we meet with family, a great person when you've gone